front of me. Even though I cannot see, I feel the
What's up, people?
Hello
How you
out
all
there.
doing? Guys, we have another segment of our podcast, Lava604. Yeah, baby. And today we are honored to have Michelle Joly in the presence, in the flesh, in the building. Woo!
Nice to be here, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you came out and you made it, and you got to meet Jose for the first time.
Yes, lovely to meet you.
And we're just listening to one of your songs as the intro, Blind Kind of Love. Love it.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
It's one of it's my latest release, so it's all about love, obviously. Released on February 14th. So.
Nice. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Where can you get
Valentine.
it?
Pardon me?
Where could you get this song?
You can get it anywhere online, like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, whatever, however. And I also have a website, michellejolymusic.com, and it can also be there.
We'll put that down
Awesome.
in the description.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get right into it,
All
Michelle.
right.
Let's talk about how you got into the music business.
Well, I always sang, so I've been singing since a young age. But actually, I was working at Zeller's, and my mom was like, "You should go to music school," and I was like, "What? People do that?"
So you were like folding clothes, and you had the.
I was
voice of your
actually
mom in the
stocking
back.
shelves,
Stocking shelves.
singing late at
You
night.
gotta go to school, music school. And you're like, hell
My
yeah.
mom kind of tricked me. She was like, "Oh, there's an audition for singing lessons," but it was
Nice.
actually for the music program in Red Deer College.
So you thought it was for another type of.
I just thought it was
competition or
just
something,
no.
or?
I thought it was just for singing lessons,
Yeah.
just to take some singing lessons.
Yeah.
But it was actually then an audition. So, there's singing lessons here, but there's also this whole music program. So
Nice.
I kind of just started that way, but I was always excelled in music. Playing in band. I played lots of different instruments: bass, clarinet, trumpet, French horn, trombone.
Oh wow.
All in like junior high
Wow.
music class. So
Right.
music was kind of always there for me.
Okay. Yeah. So you can say that you were schooled in music, so you can read music.
I can read music now, yeah.
Of course.
Well, I could always read music, but
Yeah.
now it's obviously much better. But
Right.
that's kind of how my career started. And from there, I just realized I loved it. I graduated with 2 diplomas, one in music merchandising, one in vocal jazz performance. And then I moved out to Nova Scotia. And I feel like that's kind of where my career really started happening. I started performing, for the public in restaurants, and I was in a big musical and stuff like that. So it kind of I had a lot of support in the East Coast, and that's where all the songwriting really began, I think, for sure.
That's awesome. That's
What
great.
genre would you really describe yourself? What type of music?
I would just say singer-songwriter because I do write a lot of different genres. I started out writing kind of like country folk, and it's just kind of, gone through the different genres of jazz, funk, blues. I do have some country, pop, reggae. So I kind of like to just write what I'm feeling and not necessarily stick to one genre, which is interesting because if you want to get signed with a record label, they want you to have one genre, and they want you to stick to that genre so people know who you are, what you have to offer. But to tell you the truth, I always just wanted to be a songwriter, so I stuck with that. And now in the music industry if you want to kind of go down the path that I'm going, the best thing is if you write lots of different genres.
Of course. So if you diversify, it's a lot better for you.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up the question. Have you had any famous collabs? I know you were talking about a song that somebody famous helped you write.
So I did, when I kind of decided, I think it was like 2016, okay, I'm just going to do music. I don't want to have a side job. I quit my job. I did this songwriting residency. It was the very first one done in Banff. And it's not that one, but...
No.
And
just
so anyway, so...
But I'm looking for it, though. Yeah.
Anyway, so I did this 2-week songwriting residency. I wrote my album that I released, my last album, Unconditional. And one of the songwriters there who are like mentors in the residency. Her name was Matresa Berg, and she wrote the song Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter. So I kind of brought one song to her, and we worked all week on it and did a lot of crying, and it was good.
And that was Kiss Me Goodbye, right?
Kiss Me Goodbye again.
So
Yeah.
it was like a healing moment when you were writing it.
I think so, yeah. I would definitely say for sure. That whole album,
And
Unconditional. What?
And some wine. So you were
Lots of
drinking
wine.
Lots of wine. Lots of wine, people.
Not with Matresa, though.
No.
You know, it was very professional.
Yeah, right.
It was after, you know.
Of course, after all that. So it was a very emotional song to write. And how long was the process? Like, was it over one?
You know, it's interesting because
day or
it was over the course of probably 6 or 7 days when I first brought that song to her. It was very different. At first, it was kind of upbeat jazz, and it just changed to like a mellow, bluesy, more of a bluesy jazz feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, every day I brought it to her, she was like, I'm still not believing you. It's still not believable, you know?
Right.
So she delved right into like deep, what's the song about? Why are you writing this song? What's the emotion you want to portray? And all of a sudden I'm bawling. And then going back to we had these sweet little cabins in the mountains. It was amazing. You would just like come out of this cabin and there'd be like an elk sitting there.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was one of the most amazing experiences.
Inspiring, yeah.
Oh, you have your own little cabin with a grand piano inside of it and all the gear that you want, like if you want an amp or recording gear, whatever, set up in this cabin that you have for 2 weeks that you can just go and write music.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
well, I want to play a little bit of it.
Okay.
And let's hear some of that song. I'm keeping an eye on the
Okay, good.
on the clock. Don't worry. He had one job.
A bottle of scotch takes me through the night. You touch my
Feel
face,
free to sing it. Sing along.
put your hand on my waist. I know my worth, but I don't want to know when it's over. Just kiss me goodbye again. Over and over. It's always over till it's gone. A bottle of red, takes us through the night.
Because it's obvious, it's right there.
I'm dressed.
All right, well that's a great song.
So this was a live performance
Right.
at the Banff Center. So after I wrote the song, I honed it, I got these girls to sing with me.
Yeah.
And it was like, I wrote this song here and I performed it there. So it was, a really good experience. And she was sitting in the audience and she was like, you got it.
So
Like,
the person that helped you write it.
yeah, she didn't hear the finished product
Oh, wow.
until this performance.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So-
Okay,
and
so you're
she-
giving us a little bit of your history, right? And you let us hear this great song. I love this song. It gives me that sense of like, during like the war, like World War II kind of thing. It's got that pin-up girl kind of vibe to it. Yes, I love it. It's great. So what's one of the most recent jobs that you've had before this COVID thing, right?
Well, after I did this, actually, I sang at the Junos.
You did?
Oh, I did.
Wait!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like
We gotta find that. We gotta find your performance of
2018.
Yeah.
But I was a backup singer. For
That was with was it through the contact I sent you?
Yes.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So he tags
Check
me.
out this story, man. This is cool.
So I just got to tell you something. So I actually wanted to sing at the Junos, and I was
That's
like,
right.
"How does somebody sing at the Junos? That's
She
impossible."
mentioned it to me like months before, and I was like,
Yeah, it's like you
"Wow,
can't
this guy-"
just go and sing there. You have to be invited to sing there. People have to know who you are, right?
Right.
So anyway, he tags me in this link, but I had changed all my passwords to include the word Juno in them.
That's right. Meta tags.
Yeah, and so then Alex like tags me in this post, and I was like, as if. But anyway, I auditioned for it, and I was one of the singers that were picked.
Yeah, the guy asked me about you, remember? And he was like, I don't know, he's like a producer or a music composer or something, right? And so he was looking for backup singers or singers to sing during the Juno, right? So he made this post, and I've had met him before on another, I can't remember how I met the guy, but then I told him about you, and he was like, oh, is she good? And I go, man, she's amazing. Just give her a chance. And sure enough, I tagged her on the comment, and it worked out, and she performed at Junos.
Yeah, and I performed with a couple other girls who I'm now singing with at different studios in Vancouver with.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So it all manifests like that.
I have a question. If you wanted to collaborate with anybody around the world, who would it be?
I think at this point it would be Adele. Just because her music is so like I know her music is gonna live on forever.
Yeah.
And I just feel like our voices would be so powerful together. And I love her songwriting, and I connect to her songwriting specifically because a lot of her music is about breakup, and if it's not about breakup, it's about her inner self and trying to find herself. So I just have a lot of similarities in life with her, so that's who I would.
I guess as an artist, you always pick somebody that you have similarities with, right?
I think it's.
But you said that your voice as well, like you.
But also they have to
We have to compliment each other.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear that. I can definitely hear that. So maybe we can make it happen, Adele, if you're listening. If you're watching, hey. So going back to jobs, like what job? Because I know you were telling me that you were working in a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And,
so.
And I also mentioned, and Jose, like I heard her sing about a week ago, and I hadn't heard you sing for like a year or over
couple
a year,
years,
couple
at least,
years,
yeah.
right? So what I heard was like a different Michelle. Right,
Yeah.
like this Michelle that had found her voice. Like you were throwing in little like grooves in there, and you took us through a roller coaster. So tell us about the cruise ship experience. Like,
Okay,
working on the cruise ship.
Yeah, so I've actually always kind of wanted to do the cruise ship thing just because I wanted to travel and do it with my music. And I thought, what a perfect way. But I never wanted to do it solo. But I've had an agent here for a while now, and she came to me and she's like, okay, there's this audition, let's just do it. I was like, what have I got to lose? So I auditioned, and he hired me like right on the spot.
Yeah.
And I flew like a couple months later, I was like on my way to Keelung, Taiwan. And then and then we did like Asia for a bit, and it was, you know what, then we went to Australia and New Zealand and like 40 other countries in the past year and a half, and it's just been like the most incredible experience of my life. But to tell you the truth, I didn't know if I could actually do that gig because you literally have to play every single day.
Yeah,
For
and we
4
talked
months.
about that because
For 4 months.
What we were talking about is just that she, like how often was she singing, and how many hours a day. But
so 1 to 4 hours. Usually it's 1 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
So if you sang, an hour and a half this day, then maybe the next day you're singing 3 hours. It's very rare that you'd ever do 4 hours. But your contract says you have to be available for 5 hours a day. It was very rare for your music director to, because he knows that you're going to be exhausted and you're not going to put up your best performance. So like on the Sky Princess, my last contract, I only worked 1.5 hours a day, every day, from like 10:30 till midnight.
That's
sometimes longer.
That's like putting a
8:45.
You're basically.
And I'm alone, so at the end of 4 months, to tell you the truth, my voice is tired. I am exhausted. I'm ready to go home after 2.5 months. So,
you're like, I'm done. I'm good.
But you know what's crazy? This last time, the last time I went on the cruise ship, it was nice too because I could sell my album. So like I've released 4 albums actually.
Yeah.
My last album, Unconditional, is the one I wrote in Banff with all of the songwriters from Nashville. But so it was great because I could make a side income on there as well. And this last contract, right before everything shut down because of the pandemic, my original contract was 2.5 months. And right before I was trying to get on the ship, I had to get flown back home, and there was this whole thing that happened. And when I got back on the ship, they gave me a new contract. My new contract was for 4 months.
Nice.
So
and
even
this is before the COVID.
then 3 weeks later, it was not working anymore, but I still had a
You
contract
still
for
got
4
paid.
months.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, because I was not looking forward to 4 months, but then I was like, 2.5 months.
So, what was your up moments in your career so far compared to your down moments?
Like, how did I feel, or what were they exactly?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like
what
your
was
highlights.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
my low points
Yeah.
were like I not doing music at all, like laying on the couch feeling sorry for myself, being like, why are there no
That's
gigs?
terrible.
But this
Yeah,
has literally
every,
happened.
Every musician goes through that.
Yeah, because you're struggling, and then these people want to pay you like $100 for a gig, and you like put your heart and soul into it, and then it costs you money if you're parking and driving, and then at the end of the day, you're taking home like $50, and it's just like, how do you make this work? And I just was feeling so like much of a struggle that I just got a job, and I was working like delivering flowers and like just
that's real
weird
talk right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Struggle.
Yeah, the struggle, and you have to have a.
And then you have to come home and do music, and it's like you're
what are you
so
gonna sing
exhausted.
about? Delivering flowers.
I mean, you could if I had the energy. If I had the energy to,
That's where
to even
music's
write
inspired
That's what
from
it is.
anyway.
Yeah.
from real life
Real life
experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What about the highlights?
Okay,
Like,
so like
obviously we
I've
already
had some
said-
great highlights.
yeah.
Like when I first moved to Vancouver, I didn't really know if I wanted to be a performing musician, but I found this guy who worked with Marvin Gaye and James Brown's daughter, and like a bunch of amazing singers in Vancouver. And this is like right when I moved here in 2012, and I joined the choir. And I sang like in the biggest places, like Orpheum Theater,
Nice.
like the Commodore, the Terry Fox thing, or theater. We just had a lot of big gigs in Grouse Mountain, and I was like a featured vocalist in this choir. And those were some big highlights for me because I kind of just came here and started singing out right away. But to tell you the truth, all of my past traumas that I've had, like people telling me I'm not good enough,
Right. Like that
started
teacher
to
you had,
creep in. And when I was, I could have been at the pinnacle of where I could have really broke out, I pulled back and quit the choir. Because I was getting so sick. I would go into those gigs. I would feel so nervous that, like, in the pit of my stomach, I just wanted to puke. I didn't want to put myself through that, like, agony. Like, I remember when we were open out for, like, Maya Angelou, my stomach was so sick for the entire week because I knew we were performing in the Orpheum Theater. And my brain went, and I just crashed and burned. And that was kind of like, once I quit there, I got a day job, and I started like my decline of the music industry, and then I had to like dig myself back out of that hole again.
What was the name of the choir?
It was VOC Sweet Gospel, Sweet Motown Gospel or something, but VOC Vancouver Outreach Choir.
Right. Okay.
And he sings in a lot of movies and stuff too. What's his name again now?
Chico Brown?
Yeah, it's
That's my
Chico.
bro.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God, Chico loved me, and to this day he probably has no idea why I quit.
Yeah, he used to be with what's his name? That artist. He used to be the keyboardist for him.
William Flandes? No, not William.
no,
Warren
no.
Dean Flandes?
No.
He recently just won a
Lionel
Juno.
Richie.
Oh,
Lionel
wow.
Richie,
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, Fire, the Commodores.
Wow, no
Well,
way.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
huge.
played with all
That's
these people.
great.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
here I am, direct connection with this guy who thinks I'm amazing, by the way.
Of course, yeah.
And then I just couldn't perform. I just lost it.
Same thing happened.
It was my self-esteem.
Yeah,
Same
same
thing,
thing.
soon as I knew he was
I
a
guess it's a
Lionel Richie, I
common
could
thing,
do it,
right?
man.
Yeah.
Same thing.
But I did it for a while. I did it for like a good year, and then I
You
disappeared.
push yourself through it, and then you disappear.
But every
Alright.
time, okay.
Okay, well, let's move on to the
Okay.
future and tell us about career-wise where you're going, and like in terms of your work, in terms of what you're educating yourself with, if you are educating yourself with something new, right? And where are you gonna go back to the cruise ships once this whole COVID thing blows over, right?
Yeah, okay. So my big thing is songwriting. I want to get my songs into TV and film, so that's licensing. So I just took this course through Master Music Licensing. It was a great course. It gave me a step-by-step approach that I know exactly how I need to get there.
Yeah.
And I totally believe that's the path for me, because, in 5 years, I don't have to be performing anymore. I can just be still songwriting, licensing my songs, recording, and doing what I'm really passionate about, because performing, as you now know, is like kind of a scary thing for me. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, but it's like, you're putting your heart and sleeve out there every day. Like, here's my voice, and it can be very vulnerable at times.
That's right.
But so that's what I want to do with my licensing and
in your career, like what you've learned so far.
I bought it like a publishing book, and I just want to learn more about that business aspect of it.
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
but I would love to go back to the cruise ships, and they said that they want me to come back, but you just don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
totally uncertain.
Exactly.
Even though they're already selling like tickets to
they can cancel those at any moment.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
why would you want to go?
I know, right? All right, well, that concludes our segment of Lava604 with Michelle Joly. And we're going to leave with one of your songs, one of your live performances. Tell us a little bit about this live performance that you...
So this was just done this year, sometime in February. Released on February 14th. This is through my producer, Roy Hamilton III, the guy I was telling you, that's amazing producer that I had a great time with. And this show, 100 Huntley Street, is Canada's longest running daily talk show, and he does all the music.
Great. All right. Well, you heard it here. Michelle Joly, guys, please check out her page. With which one is Bandcamp?
MichelleJolymusic.com.
And she's also on Spotify. She's got some videos on YouTube, and
she's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. It's really been a pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Standing in front of me, even though I cannot see, I feel the warmth of love all around me. Shivers running up and down, spinning my mind round and round. It's a blind kind of love. It's a blind kind of love. Love undisguised. Love that never dies. It's a blind kind of love beyond the typical lies of the eyes. In this moment that exists is a fire we can't resist. In words I hear, wipe away my every tear. What power our truth sets free, releasing